Hey everyone, and welcome to VGA Podcast episode 56. Today we're going to be talking about some season finales of shows we've been loving these seasons. So we have Severance season 2 and Invincible, or the finale episode 10, and then Invincible season 3 episode 8. So I don't know about you, Alex, but I'm very excited to talk about those finales.
Yep, 2 finales. So it should be a good talking topic. I'm very curious if we differ on both of them. I'm curious on your thoughts on both of them because I'm not sure where. I think I know where you'll land, but
yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts too. So I definitely have strong thoughts on both of them. So we'll have some good talks on that. And then after that, we're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. And then we will probably be playing a Guessthe.game and then just talking about whatever else we've been watching or playing. I know you saw Snow White. I didn't get a chance to see it. So if you want to talk about that, we can chat about that. But okay. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's get into it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's talk about Severance Season 2, Episode 10, the finale. So we're going to give our scores and give a little bit of an overview without any spoilers, and we'll give a spoiler warning before we get into it. So to start us off, Alex, do you want to go ahead and give us your score on Severance, Season 2, Episode 10?
Yeah. Right off the bat, so I was debating between a 9 or a 10. I really enjoyed the episode. The finale was great. I liked the length. They did some interesting stuff, especially towards the beginning of the episode. It was just really interesting to watch. Like, I've never really seen that before. Just some things they've done.
Yeah,
they did. I was floating between a 9 or a 10. I honestly think I'm gonna give it a 10, and the reason being is I actually think this is a better overall finale than season 1 finale. I think season 1, maybe like the last 5 minutes of the season 1 finale, had more of that, I don't know, talking points, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But I think as a whole, I actually think this was a better finale. And I thought the way they ended this episode, it could have, if this would have been the last season, this would have been like a fine ending, almost like a twisty, weird, dark ending. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if if we would have known this would be a series finale. I'd be like, okay, so I can't talk. I'll talk about that in spoilers. I don't want to say anything. But I think I liked the ending more in this one, just in the sense of it concluded what they set out to this season, but it opens up a whole nother can of worms. It's not just a cliffhanger type ending. It felt like a completed story that's starting something new. And so I think overall, this is probably a better finale, and I think I enjoyed it slightly more in different ways. And all the stuff that happened during the episode, which we'll talk in spoilers, I just it got pretty gruesome. I didn't expect it to. So yeah, I was I wouldn't say I'm pleasantly surprised, because I knew it would be good, but I like how they ended it. I was worried. So, like with any finale, I'm worried with every final episode. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the 10 out of 10. I think it was consistent. It was acted great. It looked great. Oh yeah, I loved it. 10 out of 10.
Okay, yeah. So I'm pretty much gonna echo what you said. I gave it a 10. I thought it was awesome. A great finale. I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some great performances. We got some good reveals. I feel like we learned way more than I thought we would.
Same.
Yeah, and it was like tense. There were some funny moments. There were some unsettling moments. It was like everything I love about this show kind of wrapped up into one episode. And I liked the ending. I thought it was good. Makes sense. It felt like they did a really good job of completing the season arc. Like, there were a lot of episodes in this season that I really liked, but they all came together. Like, all the themes that they were really talking about throughout the season, it kind of came together into this one episode. And I think the ending makes sense. I didn't think about what you said about it being like if it was a series finale, it still would have worked. But I kind of agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll explain more why I said that, but obviously I don't want to spoil a single thing in this.
Yeah, go watch it.
But it was a good finale, and it completed the story it set out to, and it didn't leave you in some sort of cliffhanger like the first. And I'm not saying the first season finale cliffhanger wasn't great. I mean, it was. I love a good cliffhanger, but this felt like a completed story while still opening up another can of worms for a different type of story, I think.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right. Well, it's hard to talk about the show without spoilers, so let's get into it.
Yeah, it really is.
Spoiler alert for Severance Season 2, Episode 10. Definitely go watch it. This show is so good.
Yes, watch it. Trust me, it's amazing, and it's renewed for Season 3, so
yes.
Officially.
Great news.
Yes. But yeah, oh, by the way, are we streaming this live?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you have the
yep, I got the alert. Up.
Okay,
I
cool.
do. Yep.
Cool. Okay. So I just want to make sure, because I really don't want to spoil anything in this show.
Yeah.
This story, it felt complete. I mean, even what's his name? Irving wasn't in it, but like you could have said like, oh well, the last episode he kind of went away, right?
Yeah.
And then with what's his face? What's the other guy?
Dylan.
Not Mark. Dylan. Dylan, he kind of had his arc with his Audi, and he kind of came to terms. Oh, his Audi likes knowing he's there, and he came back to help Helly. I mean, it really, I don't know. It just felt like a completed like this season felt like they needed to find his wife, and they found his wife.
Yep. Which I feel like they did that way faster. I thought that was going to be the overall series thing, but I like that they kind of got her out of there this season. That's cool. Yeah,
now like that poor lady, man.
Oh man,
she finally gets out and then sees Mark, go in, leave with another woman, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Gemma. At least she's out, but man, seeing Mark turn around, I was screaming along with her, like, no, go back. But yeah, I just feel so bad for her.
I do too. I'm like, oh, she had it all. I mean, I think my favorite thing of this episode is it was so interesting, like the way it was set up. Like Gemma is pretty much stuck on that floor, because if she goes up to the Severance level, she's obviously going to revert back to Miss Casey. Miss Casey. So she was just stuck. She's trapped. So in order to get past that floor, they needed Mark's innie, but in order to get to Mark's innie, they needed Mark's Audi. So it's like just the way the way they had to puzzle it together and get her out was really interesting concept.
Yeah, for sure. And I loved how they basically set up that plan by having Mark talk to himself through the camera. That was
so interesting.
I love those scenes. Yeah, that was so cool.
I never really thought of Mark's innie and Audi like talking to each other.
Right.
So like that was really interesting. And that was great acting by him too.
Oh, yes, it was.
What's his name? Do you remember his name?
Ben from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say.
I forget his name.
Ben. Yeah.
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. There you go.
Yeah, he did great.
Yeah, I was pleasantly. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I knew he was a good actor, but that's hard to. I mean, you're pretty much acting
with yourself as two different people. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely had some great performances.
So I thought, what's that?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, I mean, that was the first 15, 20 minutes was kind of set up. But we predicted like kind of what the episode was going to be about.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
We were pretty close in the sense of he's going to go down there, they're going to make him finish it and not leave until it's done. But anyways, what were you going to say before that?
Well, you mentioned Irv, and I do agree with you that like it wrapped up Irv's arc in this season very well and like sent him off. But I do like that they had one little mention of Irv, and it was to Cobell about his drawings. And her reaction to that just makes me think he's going to be really important coming up, because she was shocked that he was trying to find that elevator. So whatever he's doing, I feel like is going to play a part in the next season. So I like how they're leaving those little like open threads for the future.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, and even with, I was trying to, I still don't understand Miss Cabell's reasoning for all this.
Yeah.
What's her end game? Does she really dislike? Is she really that mad at Lumen?
Yeah, I mean that's what we're supposed to believe. I don't know though. It could be other. She most likely she's trying to do something for herself. Whether that's take over the Severed project again or what. But yeah, I don't know.
Definitely open ended, and same with with Milchek. He was interesting this episode because I don't know. There's just I still can't get a grasp on him. I really can't.
We did not call the Milchek marching band scene in our guesses for this episode.
No, that was awesome. Milchek can dance.
Yeah, we knew that from season 1, but he upped it. Yeah, that was really cool.
But I just don't like. I can't. I feel like it's setting up for him to eventually betray Lumen, and it's going to be very satisfying.
Yeah,
because there's moments, when they're talking to the animatronic, where he just like is like fed up. Like you could just tell, and even Mark like would look like, okay, he's
right.
You can kind of tell. So I'm like, there's moments where I'm like, when is he going to crack it and just join Mark and them, man?
Yeah. The animatronic scene was interesting because it seemed like it was like pre-planned bits kind of at first, where like the animatronic was just like programmed to say something and Milchek was like bouncing off him and it was fine. But then the animatronic said that thing like, oh, well, aren't you verbose? And it looked like he got annoyed, and then it is the animatronic like an AI or some kind of program to like mimic here? Like I didn't understand that, but it was I like the scene.
I thought at one point that animatronic was going to freaking stab something. I'm like, is this thing the way it was talking? It was very ominous and dark. I'm like, is this thing like? Is there gonna be some surprise thing in this thing? I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, I want to know more. Yeah, it was.
The way when Mark got back down there with Helly, and just the lighting of everything, and just the animatronic sitting there watching him finish, it was so weird and like ominous.
It was.
But yeah, I mean, so like the first 20 minutes were Mark kind of talking to Mark, the Indian Audi, and convincing him, because obviously the Audi Mark needed to convince the Innie Mark, hey, I need to save my wife. But I thought that dynamic was interesting because the Innie Mark is obviously contemplating like, well, you're getting your wife. What about me? Yeah. When we reintegrate, kind of like what I was saying to you the other week, like that makes it more of you than
right
than me. Like you've had years and years worth of.
We literally talked about that last week, and he said like the same thing we said. Yeah.
Yes, that was satisfying when he was saying that. I'm like, yes, these are the things I want to ask.
Yep. And I liked how
that was kind of a conflict.
Yeah, and that conflict was set up like when I knew it was going off the rails was when Audi Mark called her Heleny. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be like showing he doesn't really care, and that's when he kind of started not trusting him. And that was interesting how. Like you can't even trust yourself. Like they are two separate people,
so
and
weird.
that was And then who really takes over in the reintegration? Yeah, that was all really cool.
It's just so interesting because how they come up with these situations.
Seriously.
Because I would have never thought of these types of situations. We'd be talking about this in a show.
Yeah,
like it's so interesting, and it obviously sets up the conflict for the end of the episode.
Yeah,
and. I don't know. I really like that scene. It kind of set up. It asked what we want. Like I feel like everyone wanted asked. Like everyone is thinking.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In that conversation, and ultimately, Innie Mark, kind of agrees after talking to Cobell. Like either or, they're gonna chop you down whether you do it or not. So just do it, or for saving his wife.
Yep.
Um,
And then I liked how this is kind of jumping ahead, but like Innie Mark followed the plan like to the T. He did exactly what I think it was Devin was saying, was like, get Miss Casey, get her to the stairwell and get her out. And like she didn't say anything after that. And that's exactly what he did. And then kind of took his life into his own hands after that, which is interesting. But yeah, he did what he was asked.
And I think what truly convinced Innie Mark to do it, and this is where I'm a little confused, and maybe I'm overthinking it. So I don't think Innie Mark would have done it unless Helly was the one to convince him, right? Because she was like, it's not going to work between us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm her kind of thing. So just save his wife. But then at the end, she let him go with her. So is it just her like kind of caving in and being screw it? Or is that not Helly? That doesn't seem like a Helly thing to do.
I think it is Helly. Like I've seen people guess that it was Helena at the end, but I think it was Helly. And it's just like, she's saying that because she thinks he needs to hear it. And like, that's what they should do. But I mean, when you get that chance to like, I don't know, they haven't really had any agency over their life, and this is like the first time that they can do something, make a decision. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not going to work out very well. There's not going to be like some long-term thing.
What do they plan on doing? Like living down there forever?
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty big. They have a whole section with a marching band somewhere.
Goats.
And goats. Survive off goat milk.
Well, yeah. Because I think that's where season 3 conflict is heading. Like these innies are gonna kind of hold themselves hostage, you know. So it might be innies versus Audi and Lumen.
Yeah.
You know, like
yep.
So which is such an interesting. It kind of went from like the Audi and Innie kind of team up against Lumen to kind of like it's almost like Innie versus Audi now, which is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so once Helly kind of convinces Mark to do it, he finishes Cold Harbor.
Yeah, which we found out what it was, and we kind of talked about it. How he was so he was basically like creating all the different innies for Gemma by like, I mean, it's basically her mind, and he was like separating them into different buckets, which make the innies. So we got an answer on Cold Harbor.
Yes. Yep. And so that the scene where Mark kind of goes to find the elevator, man, it got more violent than I thought it was.
Yes, it did.
So he finds the door to go down to the elevator, but it's locked. But just behind that door, there's that like a hidden room where, what's that guy's name? That big guy?
Drummond. Mr. Drummond.
Yes, Mr. Drummond, where he's back there. So this is another thing that's really interesting. So they sacrifice these goats for what? What was I trying to? What were they trying to get out there? It's
some cult thing where they believe the goats will guide the spirit of like Gemma to Kier or something. It's very culty,
like demonic. It's very like you're. Yeah, I just was like, okay, so they got to sacrifice these goats to guide the spirit. Maybe it's some culty spiritual crap from Lumen, but it was really weird.
It's probably part of Kier's teaching, but we did find out why the goat people are there, because they use it to sacrifice.
Yes, and I do like how they had the goat lady, like she doesn't want to obviously kill these goats.
Yeah.
That whole scene was interesting because Drummond was he's very intimidating, and when he got like violent on Mark, I'm like, finally, like Lumen's usually, 100% of the time, there's usually never violence. Like that's one thing Lumen hasn't done, at least to our characters, not like Gemma, obviously, but like the Severed Floor characters. And that was like kind of the first time where I'm like, oh dang, okay, here we go. Like I was kind of waiting for it. Like, when are they going to get to the point where they need to start freaking physically getting to these people?
Yeah.
And it didn't let up with the freaking blood and violence, because
so Drummond fought Gwendolyn Christie, which, I mean, they're both big. So the actress, I think, she's from Game of Thrones.
She's big.
That's right. Yeah. Brienne. She played Brienne.
Yeah. Wow.
Also,
I did not notice that at first.
Yeah. She's also Captain Phasma in Star Wars, but I digress.
Wow. How did I not put 2 and 2 together?
Yeah. I didn't notice it in the first episode she was in, but this one I'm like, I recognize her.
I really didn't recognize her.
Yep.
Wow.
And that was a satisfying fight. Her fighting Drummond.
Yeah. Oh, that was. And then there was that scene where Mark's Innie was going down that hallway and he looks back and sees her with the goat. What did she say? Like, she's the goat.
Emil thanks you.
Yeah, it's just so the scene. I've already seen memes of it, like a bloodied woman with a goat is saying, "Thanks you." But
that was funny.
He's like, "What?" And Mark's reaction is like, "Oh, okay."
Yep.
But then that next scene where he goes down the elevator, and obviously, Audi Mark, when he goes down to that floor, or he leaves the severed floor, so Audi Mark comes back.
Yep.
He just freaking pushes that button because he doesn't know where he's at. And freaking that drill thing into the neck. My lord.
That was violent. I was not expecting that, but it makes sense. If you switch and you're holding a gun, I mean, you have a chance to accidentally fire it.
Yeah, because I mean, think he's just popping up out of nowhere. The first thing you'll probably do is, I don't know, when you're nervous or something, you clench your hands or yeah, that was bloody. And then it's just like his feet keeping the door open. I'm like, geez, this is the elevator door.
Yeah,
just half in. It's just, yeah, that was bloody. I wasn't expecting it to get that violent.
Yeah, me neither.
And then Audi Mark found the Cold Harbor room.
Yep.
And
but before he goes in the Cold Harbor room, I thought the interaction between him and the other lady down there was really funny.
I was laughing. I don't know if there's intended to be laughing or not.
I think so. It's like two deranged people just screaming at each other, like, "Oh, wait, no!"
And she's just running. Like, that made me laugh too.
Yeah.
And then he opens the door, uses the blood of Drummond on his tie or whatever.
Smart.
And then he sees his wife for the first time since actually we've ever seen him since the show started. We've never seen him and his wife together. Well, besides flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Audi Mark.
Yeah, that was such a cathartic reunion. Yes. I was so happy.
Especially when she walked out of the room and she's recognized him too.
Yes, I was so happy for a few minutes.
Yes. Yeah. For a few minutes. Yeah. For like 2 minutes.
Like, yes, finally.
Such a happy reunion.
Yeah.
So Cold Harbor, is that what you expected? I mean, they built it up so much, and it was, I don't want to say it was just that, but for building up so much, do you think it was a little anticlimactic when she walked in there, or is it kind of something you expected? I mean, they built it up like Cold Harbor. I
feel like that was just, I wasn't really disappointed. I kind of thought it was something like that, maybe a little bit more, but I still don't think we know everything about, because we know what Cold Harbor is, but I still don't really feel like I know what exactly, once they got all of those innies like separated and they knew it worked, what's their goal after that? Like, we still don't fully know. So I still think there's more.
And we never even saw Cold Harbor room get finished either.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I don't think so either, but I think I read, some people were a little disappointed with such a build up.
I see. Yeah.
For I mean, it wasn't just mention it here or there. I mean, they were building up Cold Harbor. Did you finish it Cold Harbor?
Yeah.
So like, I could see why people were it was a little anticlimactic for some people, but I expected something like that too. I mean, we talked about it, I think, a couple episodes ago. I think you mentioned it.
Yep. And like, the real thing about Cold Harbor is if he finished it, Gemma would be killed. Yeah. And so that's like I don't know. That's the scary thing.
When you like truly think about it, it's darker than we freaking think. I mean,
it's really dark.
She's pretty much a lab rat. Like, literally.
Yeah, and they even have her in like a maze of hallways, like a lab rat. Yeah. It's like 25 different lab rats in one.
Yeah, like it's dark. Like Gemma, I mean, they would have literally pretty much offed her afterwards and freaking used her mind or brain or body, whatever, freaking dissect it like a
Yep.
use whatever they had. Like it's dark, man. That lady.
All right. I saw something. I saw someone talking about something that I thought is interesting. Is that from a certain point of view, you can kind of see that their test still kind of worked, but not so much on Gemma, more on Mark. Because at the end, he's so separated from Audi Mark that he doesn't even choose to go out to his wife. This is Audi's wife. He chooses to stay with Helly. So it's like such a separation that maybe that'll come up in the future about how it was a success and it was with Mark. Because they were able to separate, but I mean, it's only 2 innies, or 2 an innie and an Audi, not 26 of them. So I don't know.
Yeah, because if you notice, like Gemma, I mean, Mark walked in there, bloodied up everything, and she just apparently followed her instinct. I trust this man. Something part of her inside her said to trust her, even after what's evil doctor guy was telling her not to.
Yep. And then even when she's Miss Casey, she still trusts him. Like he doesn't even explain anything, and she still follows him. Like she knows. So yeah, that's a good point.
I wonder if like there's so many pieces of her. I would like to maybe this is me just talking, but maybe the more you're severed, the less each innie has control over.
Maybe, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that is an interesting take, which I could see that because Mark, I mean, he's in deep with Helly, man. Like,
yeah.
When he told her to walk out of the room first, I'm like, you need to walk out of the room first, dude, because I know where's going, or out of the severed floor.
Yep.
When I'm like, no, just you go first.
Yeah. When he closed the door, it's like, no.
I'm like, so I guess that's so he gets Gemma off the severed floor, switches back to Innie Mark. Innie Mark guides her to that stairwell or whatever, and she goes out, and then he stays in, and then good old Helly walks over there and it's like Mark, and he picks her, and poor Gemma's screaming a little heart out.
Heartbreaking.
I know, like she's finally out, and now he's stuck in there.
Yep.
And like Audi Mark has no say, at least as of right now. Who knows? I wonder if the reintegration will take into effect more. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
But it just didn't seem like a Helly thing. That's why I was like, knowing Gemma screaming like that. And I mean, I get it, right? It's like, you're right. You finally feel like you have some control. You're mentally, you're still so young. It's not like you haven't experienced a lot of things. So I do get it. I think it just felt off.
One thing I think this season did a lot of is, which I think might kind of answer this a little bit, is it seems like all of the innies are almost becoming more like their Audis, because, and it makes sense, right? Because they start out as innies, they're like, new, they don't have any trauma, they're like children. But I mean, they're going through some stuff. They're getting trauma. Like now, Innie Mark just would do anything to be with the woman he loves, just like Audi Mark would.
It's like his Audi Mark. Yeah.
And then Dylan, first season, he was all like cocky and happy with just like the finger traps and stuff. But then he met his wife, and he's feeling sadness over losing her, and he's depressed, and he's
and a little more angry.
Yeah. So maybe Helly is becoming more like Helena with these experiences. And even like James Egan said, I see the spark of Kira in you, like I did with Helena when she was younger. And maybe it's about that growth and becoming closer to their Audi based on their experiences.
I could see them touching that, because now you say that, you're right. Each innies is acting a little bit like their Audi.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah, and that scene with Helly with Egan, like she's like, "You're so weird," or she said something funny. I was like,
"She's right."
That was a creepy scene too. This episode just had such, I don't know, it felt different than the other episodes, and like the other episodes are weird, but this one, it just felt so ominous.
Yep, it had that classic Lumen severed floor, like just stuff so unsettling, I think is a good word for it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like with even the second, like Mark went down and they only had the lighting to wherever they were walking, and it's kind of guiding him to the room. And then you had the weird animatronic there, and then Egan talking to Helly, and you know, you go down to the other floor, the floor it's lower is obviously creepy, and then you had the weird goat and Drummond down there. It was just a really eerie feeling. And then obviously the end where Helly and Mark, any Mark, are kind of running, you know, away.
Wherever,
yeah, it's like it's happy for them, but it's also kind of like dark, like considering how it happened.
Right.
It's like, I don't know how to feel about it, because I'm kind of happy for any Mark, but at the same time, like,
sad for Gemma and Outie Mark, and
how are we supposed to feel?
I think that's the point of the show, is trying to reconcile. Are these people, what do they deserve? They do a good job of that.
In that moment, I feel more for Outie Mark and Gemma, because we're hearing Gemma scream. Right. But when you think of the grand scheme of things, like, not just in that moment, you're like, well, I get any Mark. Like, why doesn't he deserve to have his girl? Why doesn't he deserve to have his wife? So I totally I get it. So it was, I don't know, in the way the last shot where it kind of kept zooming out while they're running and turned red. I don't know. It was a really interesting ending shot. I liked it.
Yep. Agreed.
And then they had the great choreographed scene with the, like you said,
marching band.
And the band, which that was really interesting, seeing a band on there. And that was interesting too. And Helly was trying to convince them to kind of help them and stand up with them.
Yep.
It seemed like they were getting convinced. I mean, they kind of helped Dylan at the end there when freaking Milchek went Hulk.
So is she going to lead the uprising against the Audis and Lumen? That's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah,
with her
so I don't
marching
know,
band army.
So like, for thinking predictions, is it going to be one of those things where, so you got Dylan and Helly with that marching band kind of holding Milchek hostage down there?
Yep.
And kind of, they're probably going to be threatening, like, hey, no one better come down here. Well, I don't know. But pretty much I have a feeling they're going to hold themselves hostage over Lumen and the Audis.
Yeah, I agree. And that'll be interesting.
They'll explore more down there. And I don't know, as far as the Audi, maybe the Outie Mark and his sister, I'm like, okay, well, actually, maybe we do need to work with Lumen for now, kind of thing. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like, are they going to make the Innies kind of look more like the bad guys now? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be just going to feel different.
Lumen's Lumen, right? No one's ever interested in Lumen, but are they going to have to make like a temporary alliance with Lumen or something?
Could be.
So, and that's why I think I like this season, because it ended in a conclusion, like a kind of a concluded way, but it kind of changes up the formula a little bit for next season.
Yeah, and like, who are they going to talk to? Because like Drummond's dead, Helly's down there. Yeah. Like, are they going to have to like deal with James Egan? He's weird and crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. What about the
maybe the board lady, the lady who interacts with the board?
Lady, yeah, I don't know. And what about the two that are still down at the level Gemma's at, the weird lady,
the doctor and the nurse lady?
The creepy doctor and the nurse lady. Are they? Is that the only way up?
Good question. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, and I wonder if they're going to explore more of the severed floor, or see kind of. I do too.
Like, I want to see where the marching band came from. There's got to be a section. They said the section entertainment or something. Yeah, like, where are they?
Yeah, yeah. We didn't see like the little museum they had down there this season. So we know they got space down there.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm curious, but yeah, as far as like predictions, I think that's how next season's going to go. I think it's going to be the Innies kind of holding themselves hostage, like, we're not leaving unless, I don't know, and then maybe the Audis, Mark,
and you'll have like Devin and Gemma and maybe Cobell like trying to figure out how to get them out. Yeah,
and then even Irving. I wonder
Irving.
I don't know where his story is. So basically, we almost got confirmation too. I don't know if it was necessarily confirmation, but you're right. I think you mentioned it. I think Bert was kind of like their hitman, right? He had to have been like Lumen's hitman. Like, okay, when they're done.
Yeah, I almost wonder.
Kind of like you were saying.
I almost wonder if he's the one that took Gemma or something, or they have people like that to take people down there.
Yeah. My question is, was he actually severed down there?
That is a good question. My guess would be no, but I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, he's definitely, you're right, that like the hitman of Lumen. Like,
yep.
But yeah, he was really interesting, and yeah, that's kind of why I gave it a 10 over a 9. I just feel like it was a more completed story, and it kind of set up for a different season next season.
Yeah, and similar to season 1, like I cannot wait for the next season. I'm so excited. It's got me jazzed.
This season, this is now the most watched show on Apple TV. I think it was Ted Lasso.
Yeah, that's awesome. It deserves it. It's such a good show.
People are talking. I feel like I'm hearing more about it now than I did because I watched it when you did too, right? When it originally came out.
I think I watched it a little bit after, but yeah.
Because when I first watched it, when it first came out, 2-3 years ago, and I mean, people like nerds like us were talking about, right? The people who are upset, but not like the everyday people. Like now, I hear a lot more from people that don't even typically watch these types of shows.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad.
So, I am too, because it friggin' deserves it. I got Brandon to finally watch it. I think did I tell you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Is he caught up
he agrees with everything we say. He finished season 1 last time I talked to him a couple weeks ago, so I guarantee you he finished season 2.
Okay, yeah.
But he has the same thoughts as us. He's like, the acting's perfect. Well, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the production the mystery and the writing, and he's like, they make plain white hallways look interesting. Camera work. He said everything we said. Everything. You could tell this story is made with passion, and it's very everything's done for a reason.
Yep, for sure.
So I can't wait. Hopefully, we're not waiting another 2-3 years.
Yeah, seriously. 2. I think I heard that Ben Stiller said we won't have to wait as long, so that's good.
I hope not. I hope it's just next year. I miss when shows are just a 1 year.
Yearly, yeah.
I mean, I get it because nowadays, I mean, a lot more money is put into it. Bigger shows now are bigger, but 1 year.
Yeah.
So if March, if anything, like a year and a half, like if it come out next fall, if anything, just sometime in 2026 come out.
Yeah, I agree. That would be nice.
But yeah, that's kind of all I have.
Yep.
Such a good show.
Amazing. I'm sad that the season's over, but it was so good.
I know. It was a 10 out of 10 show. Now, how would you rank it compared to the first season?
That's I don't know. They're both so good. I think this one was a little better. Especially like from a production, there was some like episode 7. Some of those shots were insane. Like I feel like they just got even better production somehow, like camera work and the story is right up there.
Transitions in episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
What was it 7? Yeah, those the forced episode and that flashback episode. Yep. Oh, so good. So freaking good. And this finale is so good.
So good.
I agree. I think this season's better. I think the first season had more of that mystery.
Yeah, it did.
This season still has a mystery, but like it was more it's the start of a show, so they're building up.
Yeah, like you were really like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can see the general direction. I mean, there's still a ton of mystery. It's just we know the general direction where the show is heading. Well, we think we do at least. But.
Yeah, we have ideas about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where season 1, I didn't even have an idea. I'm like, I have no clue.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this season, as far as production, writing, and overall highs, I think this season was better.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, season 1
still great.
Still freaking great. If anything, it's just as good for different reasons, being a setup kind of season.
Yep.
But cool.
All right. Okay. So let's move on. So it was Invincible episode 8 of season 3, right?
Yes, I think there's only 8 episodes. Let me double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last season was, I think, 9 episodes.
Yeah, the finale was 8. Yep. Okay. Well, let's talk about Invincible Season 3, Episode 8, the finale. We'll give our thoughts and a score, and then go into spoilers after we give a spoiler warning. Let me go ahead and just update this real quick. Okay. And I'll go ahead and give my score first on this one since you did Severance first.
Okay.
So for the finale, I'm not going to have much to say. I think I'm also going to give this one a 10 out of 10. This was just peak Invincible. Amazing episode. I think it was the best animation of the entire show. Nonstop. Amazing. I could not believe that anything could even come close to the end of season 1, but oh man, this is right there with it. 10 out of 10. That's all I'll say with before spoilers.
Quick, easy.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give this one. I was honestly, if you want me to be honest, I was actually contemplating between a 9.5 and 10, but I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 with the caveat of it still does not come close for me as the finale of season 1 with the fight between him and his dad.
Yeah,
I still think that's peak, 100%. But there's a big but. This is close. I mean, it's you hit it on the nail. The animation was fantastic.
Yep.
The action was obviously great. The story was good, or not just good, but great in the sense of like I was actually nervous at some points for certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it's just about, peak. I still think season 1 better, but that being said, like this is right up there with it. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yep. That's so funny that we have 2 finales and we give them both 10 out of 10.
I know, we've been blowing these 10 out of 10s everywhere, man. Jesus Christ.
It's not our fault. We're making good shows.
I know it's not. It's not. No.
All right.
Cool.
Well, let's get into spoilers because I want to talk about this episode. So, spoiler alert for Invincible Season 3, Episode 8.
Yes.
Okay.
So like I'm looking on IMDb, and I mean, people have this rated a 9.9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm looking at the finale of Season 8. It's a 9.7. For me, there's still no way it's higher than the Season 1 finale, personally. I think the season 1 finale was way more personal. I think way more emotional. Still good action. Now, there's things that I think this season finale improved. I think that you're right. The animation looked great.
Yeah,
it really did.
Amazing.
And it was nonstop action. What's this? The Viltrumite
Conquest.
Conquest was obviously brutal.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, would you rank it higher than the season 1 finale?
I don't know. I'm like right now I would put them side by side. Like I agree with you. It's not as like personal and emotional. The season 1 finale absolutely was, like it being Mark and his dad and just like all that comes with that. I definitely think that the animation in this is like so good, so much better.
Yeah. I agree with that.
The fight was like brutal, and so for different reasons I think they're both great. I would put them like right next to each other, which I didn't think I would say about another episode. I thought season 1 ending would be the best of the best, nothing could touch it, but I was very happily surprised.
I agree with your saying. Just like I 100% agree with everything. I'll still put season 1 finale on the pedestal. Maybe it's because it was the first, it was the first big episode.
Yeah.
Maybe it just has the advantage of that plus the emotion behind it. But I agree. I actually do the animation with this I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Also, the crazy thing is, like, this happened right after the Invincible War. Like, back to back great episodes.
Thank God they didn't undo that. My God. Thank God they didn't.
Yeah.
At least yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And I think that's what elevated this episode a little bit more for me too, is I was so worried they were gonna, I don't know, like retcon something or do something. Nope, they freaking go right into it, man.
Yep.
And you're right. It's pretty nonstop. It's pretty brutal. And I really like, I really like Eve, man. I think
she was great in this episode.
It's so fun to watch her fight because it's so different.
Yeah,
it almost feels like a freaking anime or something.
It does, yeah. And they faked me out. I thought she was dead. I was like, oh man, no way.
I did too.
And then, but I wasn't bothered by the death fake out because it makes sense. Like it unlocked her powers and let her,
I think they played into that too in that Eve episode, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
that standalone episode, where she could, where they put a lock on. I think she mentioned something, if I remember correctly, in that.
I think
what I'm talking about, that 2.5 season, whatever.
Yep.
Where they mentioned where she's locked out of her full potential or something like that.
Yeah, and that makes sense. How her dying would unlock that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I forgot about that though. So same. I truly thought she was dead too. And I think I'm not mad about the cop out either, because that's kind of cop out, or that kind of makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. That she can, and they explained it in a different episode. So I'm not bothered by that. Normally I would be bothered on something like that, but this doesn't. Right. This one doesn't count. Yeah. But man, when I saw her all beat up and brutal, I'm like, Jesus Christ! If I was Mark, I would be going psycho too, man.
Yeah.
I would. I'm not lying. I would probably go just as psycho. So I probably would have gone more farther than him. Well, I don't know. He went pretty far. He was freaking hitting his head against his skull.
That was brutal. Yes.
I mean, you just turn into an animal at that point.
Yep. And man, I thought Conquest was great. Like the look of him is intimidating. And then I love that thing they threw in where after he was like, sure he won, he just started like spilling his guts about like how he's so alone. Like he's figured out a way to like cope with this of being so alone by just, you can tell he's done this to every planet. He finds like the strongest person, beats him up, and then just like talks about how alone he is just to let it out.
Take it to your grave.
And it shows what Viltrum does to these people. Like this empire that's supposed to be like coming and making these planets better, but really their people are all just so alone and messed up. Because we've seen it with Nolan, but now we see it with another character.
Yep, Conquest even farther. I mean,
like
he literally said he doesn't even get a name.
Yep, just a duty.
But I liked the cockiness of it, and I liked when his brother, what's his brother's name again?
Oliver. Oliver was great.
When he was great in it, and I kind of liked the little buddy team up. And then when Conquest was kind of going to tear him apart, I'm like, are they actually going to do that? Yeah. I was wondering for a split second if that was what's going to put Mark over the edge.
Yeah, it seemed like it. That was also brutal. I'm going to say that word a lot, but man, like him stretching and it cracking and I was like,
are they going to do it? I was convinced. So I will say this fight definitely had intensity to it, like the season 1 fight.
Yep.
So it's not that it had nothing, because it definitely still did have intensity.
Right. It's just, I mean, we just met this character last episode. It's not Mark's dad. Like that's what really makes season 1 so great.
I think the season 1 finale and the character itself is just so iconic, right? Yeah. Like a kind of like Superman going bad. Mm-hmm. You know, that's his father, whole build up, the emotion behind it, like I think it's just the situation, the story, just the iconicness of it that makes it higher for me, even though this episode's right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Conquest, and sometimes I like a good villain like Conquest. I don't need that emotional kind of fight every single time. Well, I mean, this one was emotional, but you know what I mean? Connection between the Mark and a villain. Sometimes I just want a character like Conquest to come and wreak havoc. Like
and they do it good.
Yeah, and I guess he did spill his guts for a split second, so he did get a little bit of character development.
He did.
But I mean, it was like you said, it was brutal.
Yeah. Oh, it was so. That's one I'm gonna rewatch just for the animation. That fight was so good.
The animation was so good, and like I said, the fight scenes they gave Eve this season was so good. Every single one she was in, I loved all the fight scenes she was in.
Yep, I agree. And this one where she was like unlocked, it was so good. Seeing them team up against a really big bad guy, that was fun.
Yeah, and it's I really liked what they did with Eve and Mark this season. I do think their relationship went a little fast, but I think they even acknowledged it in one of the episodes that they need to slow down.
Yeah. And like they've known each other for a long time, so it kind of makes sense. But I also do like the slow down because they were going to move in and then decided not move in together or something and decided to slow down. Yep.
Yeah. So I like that she's still her strong self, but she could be there for Mark and be that, girlfriend for him. She's not always like the cocky, I'm better than you. Like she has that soft, sensitive side with Mark.
And she's a good person to bounce ideas off of and feelings off of because she understands. Yep.
Yes. And because a lot of times when there's a character like Eve where she's kind of like cool, right? Like I'm a girl boss, I'm awesome in a good way. But then she gets with someone, they kind of turn like the girl or even the guy into just like that's their personalities being that relationship.
Yeah.
And they kept Eve, her strong headed self.
Yep.
Which I'm really glad they did because I really like how they made her a very good character because I love how she's a good character and she still is there for Mark. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought she was great.
One thing, there's a couple things I want to talk about with like Rex's funeral, but one thing I liked was like Eve was really sad about it. And there's some shows where it would be like, oh, Mark's feeling jealous because she has these feelings for Rex, but they didn't do that at all. Like it was just like, it was very mature. Yeah. They had a relationship. Like, they were close. Right? Yeah.
That was her first love. And like, I think she said,
yep.
Like, yeah. And Mark didn't they didn't do no, like looking back at Mark and he's jealous or this or that. You're right. He was just held her and was there for her.
Yep.
I agree. They didn't do some unnecessary drama.
Right. It definitely wasn't the place. And I'm glad they just didn't do it at all.
Yes. Yeah.
One thing about the funeral, the weirdest thing about this episode is what do you think of Rudy taking Rex's name?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's just him, kind of paying homage to someone he loved. And it'll be weird in the next season if people actually call him Rex because I'm confused. How about Rex 2.0 or something?
I think it's a weird way to honor someone to take their name after you've already taken their body. But I also think it fits with the character because Rudy's a weird dude. So, I mean...
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like it does fit his character.
Yeah. So, it's weird, but he's weird. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it would have been like, somewhat like, I don't know, what other character... I don't know, anyone else really. I would have been like, yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
But it still was weird, but you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, is there any, I mean, what scenes am I missing? I mean, it was pretty much one big fight.
At the end, they did set up a ton for the future. So I want to list some of these for what's going to happen next season. So we saw that it looks like they're making Reanimin out of all the different marks. That's interesting. Conquest is still alive, and they have him trapped in a bunker underground with bombs that definitely won't kill him if he gets out.
And I was so on what's his face's side.
Cecil, yeah.
Until I saw that, like, dude, come on now.
Yeah, not that. Like, oh yeah. Angstrom is now working for those people who are keeping him alive, and we saw him for a second. So don't know what they're planning, but Angstrom's going to show up again, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then we saw the Sequids underneath in the sewers with all the people they've taken over. So they got a lot. Yeah. There's a lot for next season.
I was like, what the heck was up with that, man?
Not to mention Viltrum's still out there. Nolan and Alan are probably going to come back, which...
Yeah, they didn't show up. I was surprised.
We talked about that. We definitely thought they were going to show up and help Mark, but I kind of like that they didn't, and Mark had to do it on his own and found his own way. I think that worked out really well.
They must have not been able to pay for the 2 voice actors.
Maybe.
But I liked it too. It worked for the story. It should be Mark. I mean, Eve helped him out, and it should. They focused a lot on their relationship, and I feel like that was fitting.
Yep, agreed.
So they have plenty of time to flesh out the return of Mark's dad. So
yep. Oh, and also we didn't see him this episode, but there's also like 8 Marks out there in some other alternate universe that are probably going to show up at some point too. So
yep, that's right. Yeah.
And then Machine Head. There's so many people out there who are going to cause havoc coming up.
Yeah, and they still have that. Yeah, that those crime boss people or the dragon-headed guy still alive, right? Or the old man that turns into the dragon still alive.
Yep.
You still have
Battle Beast is floating out in space. Oh yeah, Aaron Paul's character. Powerplex.
Powerplex. Yeah, you still have quite a bit of villains out there. So they set up. Overall, so what's your overall thoughts on this season? And if you had to rank the seasons as a whole, how would you do it?
Oh, that's so tough. Well, definitely season 2 is my least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I need to rewatch season 1. I think I probably gave higher scores overall to this season. But man, there's something about season 1. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch it to make sure. But I'll just say maybe because of recency bias, but maybe this one over season 1. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, well, I think I think 2 by far is the lowest. Like, I don't even think it's a question. Mm-hmm. I think it was all over the place. It was still good, but I think it was all over the place.
Yeah.
I still think season 1 is up there. I just think the story is very contained. It's very fresh. It's very focused. It's probably the biggest storyline I think it's one of the biggest storylines just in comics in the sense of kind of, super. I think this is kind of what started the stories of, if I was reading correctly, Superman going dark. I just think it's such a focus.
It is
a focus season, and it's just iconic. And I think.
Yeah, like Mark getting his powers and learning from his dad, and then that betrayal. Yeah. And there's so many good scenes, like Nolan killing the Guardians and then going to that other planet and distract. Like, I'm thinking about it. I really don't know which one I'd put higher. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch it. Yeah,
I would have to rewatch it too to be certain. But I think, like, if I had to I think I got to give season 1 the props. It started it all. It's iconic. It's emotional. It's tight. That being said, though, season 3 is right there. Like, I think season 1 and 3 are great, and I think season 2 is just good.
Yep, I agree.
So, but yeah, this is renewed for season 4, so I think we'll be getting it quicker.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I know some people. And we have too complained about the animation, but I was thinking about it, and I was even watching some YouTubers, and the average viewer really gonna notice this animation? Like, in a sense of,
I don't know.
It could be better. Obviously, we see a ton of different animation, but I think like for an average Joe viewer, I don't think they're gonna care.
Yeah, probably.
And I know this show doesn't have a big budget from what I was reading. Hence the animation, but.
I kind of like that they saved the budget and had this amazing blowout episode with the animation because it just looks so good.
Yeah, it did look good, and I don't want to say the animation looks terrible. It definitely looks bland compared to a lot of different animation.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
But like I said, I think I was reading that this show really doesn't have a big budget, which I guess you can tell with the
thanks Amazon.
yeah, and then they go and give friggin' Rings of Power like the biggest budget ever for a show.
Oh yeah, let's not get into a Rings of Power rant.
But sweet, that's all I have on this. I can't wait. Two freaking great. We ended 2 great shows in Severance and both our Mark shows.
Yep, our Mark shows, 10 out of 10s.
Our Mark shows, they were great, man. So now we just have another M name with Matt.
Matt, yeah. All right. Okay, let's see if we can give 3 10 out of 10s in an episode.
Spoiler alert, this one isn't a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about Daredevil Born Again, episode 4. So just like our other ones, we will give our score without any spoilers, and then we'll give a spoiler alert before we get into it. But Alex, do you want to go ahead and start with your score on Daredevil Born Again, episode 4?
Sure, yep. I'll kind of be quick and sweet like you were last time. This kind of matched the same energy as the last episode for me, so I'd give it an 8 out of 8. I think it was a
8 out of
good
8.
continuation. 8 out of 8, my lord. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so it's perfect, right?
Yeah,
Thank you for the call out, so I didn't feel stupid 10 minutes later. 8 out of 8.
I didn't realize we were changing our rating scale. Okay.
Oh, I'm getting old, man. Old and tired. We're not even that old. 8 out of 10. Just like last week's episode. I think it was a good continuation. I really like the interactions with the characters. I just think it was overall kind of matched the same energy, same acting, same type of action. I thought it just continued in a good way. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. No big negatives for me, really.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a good episode. I feel like it could have been, I could have maybe given it a little higher, but there was one thing that irked me a little bit. It may not have changed much. I also gave it an 8. I thought there were a couple of really good acting performances in this. And I also liked how it had some really good comedic parts, which I enjoyed.
Yes.
And I feel like it's doing a good job of building up to some things, and it's doing it well. So yeah, solid. 8 out of 8.
Yep, 8 out of 8. Oh my god! The funny thing is, I would not have even noticed if you didn't say anything.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh lord. Yeah, let's get into spoiler.
Yeah, all right. Spoiler alert for Daredevil Born Again, episode 4.
Oh, perfect episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what was the one thing bringing it down a little bit for you.
I felt the scene with the guy who stole the caramel corn was a little, I don't know if it was too long or like something about it kind of irked me. Like it was frustrating how adamant he was that he would get off with probation. Like
the first or second scene he was in, or both.
Yeah, the second one, I guess, the one with Matt.
The one like after he tried to get the probation.
Yeah, I mean both of them. I think it's
10 days.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, both of them. Yeah.
Because like I get the point they're trying to make with the system holding people down and like not letting them get out of this life of crime. But I mean, he did steal the caramel corn, and your rap sheet is like 25 different offenses long, and I don't know. It just seemed like he seemed really. I don't know. It just annoyed me a little bit.
It would have been different if this was like his first offense, and they're trying to play, the angle of like the system's rigged for me because I'm black or something. They're not going off of that. They're going off of he has 8 billion of like he already has like 30 or something. What do they say? 20 different offenses.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and it definitely. I agree.
I feel like they could have done it a different way, even with the way he acts. Like, I don't know, maybe he was too abrasive instead of trying to like really, because at the end he did try and get the point across that like he didn't have a choice, but I don't know. It just felt like he was cocky and abrasive for no real reason. I don't know. It wasn't the biggest deal, but it just those scenes.
No, I agree.
Could have been better in my opinion.
If like I said, if they would have had it be like his first offense or something, I feel like we would have, as audience, felt more
sympathetic.
Like,
yeah,
I still felt sympathetic for him, but I'm kind of like you, where I was like, well, you did have 20 some offenses.
Yeah, you did steal it. So
So yeah, I get what you're saying there.
I did like
Matt
him.
was exhausted with it. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and the epitome of that was when he's like, "What if a scroll did it?" And Matt was just like, "Come on, we don't. No, no, that's not gonna work." Yeah. I thought that was a funny little interaction.
So what was my question to you? Is that little side story? What was the point of that side story?
I think kind of to show that the system isn't working, I guess. Like,
but we already kind of knew that with these dirty cops.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Other than that's really all I got out of it.
Wonder, like, yeah, I mean, maybe it got him into the place where he had that interaction with that dirty cop.
Yeah, and
it was interesting.
That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm. And I liked the interaction with the girl, like you said, kind of a little bit funny scenes in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, like I did feel for the dude. I'm like, look, I like the way you're talking, like, and even Matt's like, you're right, it is rigged. Like, yeah,
yep.
But like, dude, you have 20-something offenses. What do you think? Like, even Matt's like, what do you think? Like,
yeah,
I get what you're saying, but what do you think they're gonna? I mean, they're giving you 10 days.
Yeah, and like Matt got it down a lot for what he was working with. Like,
yeah. So I get what they're trying to do, but I agree. I think it was just, I don't know, a little off. But
yeah.
But I did like this, when he was kind of explaining to me. I did like that scene when, Matt's like, you're right. Like it was an emotional scene when they got to that point.
Yep. And I do think it does push Matt a little bit more to wanting to be Daredevil again, to change the system. And
because like you said, it's kind of like, the everyday guy kind of getting the system is against him, so like, I get that angle, like,
and in this,
the system's against him,
horrible
for cornflakes or whatever.
Like there's this horrible like cycle of getting so down you have to do something bad, and then getting put back in prison, and then not being able to get a job, and then being just wanting some candy, wanting something that tastes good, and then like it is a tough cycle to be in. So I definitely felt for him there.
Yeah. And even what he said, I mean, they're going to pay more putting me into the system than
feeding me
the cornflakes. Yep. But at the same time, you can't think like that, because then everyone will just steal some cornflakes.
Yeah.
But anyways, I agree with you. I think you're right. For me, it was the tone he was talking to Matt, like laughing as a blind guy. Like, he's kind of being straight up rude. He did not make us feel bad for him until that last scene.
Right. Yep.
But yeah, besides that, I agree with that. But really, like, it did have, like I said, it gave us some interesting scenes.
Yeah, it did.
Him being in the court and stuff.
Yeah.
But the main scene I loved, which I'm sure you did, is when he talked to the Punisher.
Yes.
That was a pretty emotional and well acted scene.
Yes, for sure. I mean, man, Bernthal picked up right where he left off as Frank. That was such a good scene of, like, I mean, the first thing you see of the Punisher is him shoving an axe into something like that. That fits the character.
Yes. And I love how he's kind of the one getting to Matt, like, dude, you're thinking of him, aren't you? It's all about him, because Matt's like, it's not about him. It's not about him.
Say his name. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, that was such a good scene. And I mean, by both actors.
Yep. And then after, like, Matt punches him, he's like, man, that was the first truthful thing you did.
Mm-hmm.
Such good lines.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene, and I really like how they're making Foggy's death affect Matt this much, because it should, because that's like his best friend. Like,
yep. And it's funny that, like, the first 3 seasons, Foggy was always like the angel on his shoulder, being like, don't be Daredevil, do this the right way. And now that Foggy's gone, he has Frank, the devil, on his shoulder, being like, do something about it. Like,
yep.
It's a good.
And I love, like, when, like you said, when Matt punched him and said sorry, like, you could tell, like, he is scared to start fighting again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, 'cause I think he knows, like, man, if I start fighting, I don't know if I'm going to stop. Yep. I actually think, I wonder if we're going to get a more of a gray area type Daredevil when
That'll
he
be
comes back
interesting. Yeah.
without Foggy in the picture, like you said. I mean, I don't think he'll be bad, but I wonder if he'll go a little more gray, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Another good line that I think Punisher had was when Matt was like trying to justify it, like Bullseye got life or whatever, and then Frank was like, "Did Foggy get life?" That seemed to really hit Matt.
Yes,
that was a good comeback.
That was a good line. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, then I like the scene too where, or I thought it was a nice little scene where he gets back home and what's her face is there.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm not used to someone being home. That was a cute little scene.
That was, yeah.
And then we had Fisk.
Fisk at his horrible day.
Yes, it was kind of funny.
That was the funniest part of the episode to me. Like when the kids sing "We Built the City" and you just know he's like dying having to listen to it, and then he goes to the Latvian place and they sing "We Built the City" in a different language. That was so funny.
I loved it. And I liked the little intern guy.
Yep.
I don't even know if he's an intern or not, but Daniel, he spills some beans about things and the story gets out.
Yep.
And you could tell the other lady, who's the other lady? That's his, I don't know, his manager or something.
Campaign manager or something, yeah.
She looked like she was terrified for that kid's life.
Yep. Which I don't blame her.
Yeah, it wasn't just like oh, you're gonna get fired, dude. It was like she's like, oh God, is he gonna kill him or what's gonna happen here? Like,
yeah, Sheila Rivera is her name. It's his political advisor, Sheila. Did I lose you?
Okay. Okay. Yep. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, you were cutting out there for a second.
Okay. Cool.
And then as another part of his horrible day, he had that therapist appointment with Vanessa and the therapist where she was talking about Adam's hands, and you could just see he was so annoyed hearing that. That is another part of his horrible day.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And I thought the scenes with Vanessa were good. With she's like, I'm not scared of you, but should I, or something along the lines of that.
Yep.
Now with the therapist, like you mentioned, kind of them having to talk through that. So I thought it was all interesting stuff. And then obviously towards the end,
yes,
he obviously has Adam chained up and eating in front of him for some reason.
Yeah, I really liked the juxtaposition of like Matt going up the stairs and going in, putting on trying out the Daredevil stuff and like getting back into it, and then you see Fisk descending the stairs, going down, and then you see that like dungeon where he has Adam chained up and eating, and that was. So Fisk really hasn't changed, is what we kind of saw from that.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. What else? Are we missing anything else? I mean, that was
I think that's
the main of it.
Yeah. This is a solid episode. He did also find the bullet, I guess, the bullet casing from the person who killed White Tiger. That was this episode, I think.
Yeah, at the beginning, because he heard it roll down into the drain or whatever.
Yep. So
hence why he went to go find Punisher, because it had his logo on it.
Yep.
And like you said, it wasn't Punisher that shot him.
Yeah, it's some.
But it also wasn't that. It also wasn't that dirty cop either.
True.
So
Yep. It was probably another cop that did it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I really like that scene. We talked about it a little bit, but with that cop in the hallway with the I like their back and forth and him trying to rile him up to see if he was lying or not. That was good.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. What is this, episode 4?
Yes.
So we've gone 3 episodes without Daredevil. Is
I
it
know.
going on too long without Daredevil, or
And
do you think the pace is fine?
it almost felt like it, but I feel like this was solid enough that it didn't need it, especially with seeing the Punisher and seeing him being pushed a little bit more. If we don't see it next episode, it might be a little too long. We'll see. It depends on what they do, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the Punisher or for Daredevil to come back.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't think it's too long right now, but if we don't see any sort of form of Daredevil in the next episode, I'll start feeling it.
Yeah.
But for now, I think it's fine with the way they've been doing things.
Yep, I agree.
I do want to see him suit up again, man. I want to see some of that action.
Yep, we saw a little bit. He's practicing with his weapons, so.
That's right. He woke up in the middle of the night, and after he slept with his girl, and went up and worked out.
Yep.
Or worked out with his nunchucks and whatever.
We saw
else
all the masks.
Using. Yeah, all the masks. Yep. So it's getting there.
It's getting there.
So one last thing. Do you think they're gonna? Do you think they're like is that scene with that guy that he got the 10 days for? Is that guy gonna play anymore? Is he being anymore, or is it kind of just like a one-off little case, you think?
It felt to me like a one-off, but you never know. I guess he could come back. But I feel like if I were to guess, I would say no. We probably don't see him again. Or if we do, it's like a tiny thing.
So really, it really wasn't. If that is the case, it really kind of was an unnecessary scene because we already know how dirty cops are and how dirty the system is in this universe, you know?
Yeah. So
I don't know. I guess maybe it was just to get him into the courtroom, but
yeah.
And then one last thing. So White Tiger and his amulet and stuff. So is there just going to be no more White Tiger, or someone going to fill in the shoes? Like his daughter, his wife, or something?
I know, he did have the scene with his niece or daughter or whatever. I think it was his niece.
Yeah, I think it was his niece. Yeah.
So maybe she picks it up. I don't know, because they definitely showed it being like bagged for like evidence and stuff. So I wonder who gets it. Probably his niece, and
because it gives them powers. Whoever.
Yep.
I think right. Like the amulet has powers.
Yeah.
But does it need to be like the same bloodline or anything?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know much about White Tiger, so
yeah, me neither.
Because I am watching I think it's the same, but I am watching an animated Spider-Man show with my kids.
Oh, nice.
The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know if you've seen that one. Or Ultimate Spider-Man. The Ultimate Spider-Man. It came out. I never watched it because it came out in like 2012.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it.
It has White Tiger in it, but she's a girl.
Oh, interesting. Well, maybe.
So I wonder if the niece takes up eventually, or the wife, or someone. It did show the niece. That's what I was thinking. The niece, but she looked kind of young.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's they say White Tiger in the show.
I'm looking it up. Yep, White Tiger. Oh, yeah, I wasn't familiar with that. That's interesting.
I wasn't either. Yeah. Because they also have Danny in it, Iron Fist in that show too. And I recognized him from the Netflix show.
Yeah.
So like I knew that name, so I know who Iron Fist is. And then they said White Tiger. I'm like, wait, White Tiger? That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I knew Daredevil season, and I'm like, wait, but this is a girl, and so I wonder if she's related to.
Yeah, that would make sense. I bet it is Hector. I think Hector Ayala. Yeah, so that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that'll happen now, or if they're setting that up for future seasons.
For like future, yeah.
Yeah. They definitely gave her a reason to want to like become a vigilante because the cops don't do what they're supposed to. So that talk makes a little more sense now too.
Yeah. I wonder if they're setting up for future season, like maybe not this season, but if this show's renewed, like the next season, or they could age her up. And I don't remember how old she looked. She looked young to me in that scene, but
yeah, definitely like a teenager somewhere in there.
But yeah, that's kind of all I had on this episode. It was, like I said, more of the same, but but solid. It was
It was
good.
solid. Yep. Not a 10 out of 10 like our other ones, but definitely solid.
No, yeah, definitely solid. Definitely not a 10 out of 10 or an 8. It's not a 10 out of 10, man. It's an 8 out of 8.
Right, it's an 8 out of 8.
Oh man.
All right. We want to do guess the game now?
Oh, excuse me. Yes, guess the game.
All right. Okay. Guess the game. So we're going to be guessing games by these screenshots. We're going to see if we can get them in one, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But if we don't, and we get it in the right series, the number will turn yellow or gold, and Professor Oak will tell us we were close. So I have a thought on this, Alex, but I'm curious if you have any thoughts on what this one could be.
Not off the top of my head. Why? What direction were you thinking?
I almost think this is like a Donkey Kong Country, like an underwater level or something.
Interesting.
I don't know which one.
Okay.
And it might not be, but that's just kind of what first comes to my head. So let's try it.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's not. Okay. Okay, so we got like some skull thing here. This be like a Tomb Raider, maybe? An older one?
It's not a bad guess. Yeah, screw it, try it. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I have no idea. First one, sure. No.
Ooh.
PC and PS1.
Interesting. What is it shooting at?
I don't know.
Huh.
So, do we have anything we can throw out? A PS1 game that looks maybe like a 2D side-scroll platformer? Maybe?
Yeah. PS1 game. I don't know, man.
No, that's like anime. I don't even have a good guess.
I don't either. I have. I don't know. PS1. I don't know. What's just like Sony. But what would be on PS1 and PC? What did they?
I don't know.
Those two systems?
I'm gonna say Metal Slug 3.
Random guess.
No. Okay. Cinematic platformer. That's interesting.
Say
Beco Depot. So something about trains, maybe? A-Train HX. 1998. Makes Motocons. I don't recognize this at all.
I don't either. Not at all. I can't. I don't. I'm trying to think of even guesses, but
Slayers. Oh, Oddworld. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know which one, and we only have one guess. I feel like it's Oddworld Adventure. Maybe? Because I think these are 3D and newer.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's try Oddworld Adventures. Let's see. Oh, it was Abe's Exodus. Darn.
Oh.
I've only ever played a 3D Oddworld, and it was a long time ago. Interesting.
I don't think I've ever played one. I know what they are. I just never played them.
Okay, well, let's see if we can get some right now. Okay. Here we go. This looks like something that we should know. but I don't know.
Well, maybe something like.
Could this be a Gears of War? No. Tomb Raider. Huh.
Man, I don't know. Let's just throw out some random guess and get
Maybe
another
this
picture.
is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, that popped in my head for a second too.
Yeah, let's try it. No, we got a 94%. Is that a gun? I can't tell.
That doesn't really help me. I don't know. Metro. I always just
We can
really
throw out a
guess
Metro, sure. Oh, okay.
Oh, this is
This Arkham
which
Asylum.
one?
Isn't that Bane? I think this is Arkham
That is Bane.
Asylum. If I were to guess, maybe PS3, Xbox 360. So it's like Arkham Asylum or Arkham City. I'm good throwing out Asylum.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ah, okay. Arkham City, maybe? Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wouldn't have been that. It would have been on Origins.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is not a gun. That is Batman's
Yeah,
head.
That's funny.
We probably should have given that should have given it away, but good game. Love that game.
I believe it or not, I've never played that one.
Ooh, that I think is my favorite one.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's good.
I loved the first one.
Yeah, the
I need
first
to
one's good
replay
too.
the first one. I don't even know if I might have beaten it, but there's a lot more I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Those are one of those games. Those are those games I do need to play.
Yeah, you should. Especially the first two.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Origins?
I don't even know if I played Origins, to be honest. I know I played
that wasn't even Rocksteady, was it?
No, I don't think it was.
I did play a little bit of Night. I never beat it though.
Night was okay. City is definitely the best, in my opinion.
Yeah. So City, then Arkham, then Night?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. This one, I don't know.
This
is
Lion.
This is the Lion King.
Oh, yeah. Lion King or
not rated on Metacritic. Definitely looks old.
This is man. This is I don't know.
It's not, but let's just throw out a Sonic game. Sonic Shuffle. The system was the Amiga. Ian McCaskill. That name sounds familiar. It's an old console. Or no, it's an old computer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jeez. Ancient.
Commodore Amiga. Maybe it's Another World, since that came up here.
Another World. Yes,
let's do it.
Another World.
Another World.
Does this count as a win if we get it?
Sure. Oh, it's not. Oh, is this is Worms? Artillery strategy. It has to be Worms.
Earthworm Jim. Yeah, you're right. It's probably the
first one.
Yeah,
those are fun games. Nice.
They are. Yeah. I used to play this in computer class all the time.
I don't know if I played the first one. I definitely played one of them. Yeah,
not this one, but one of them. Like you could just get online.
Nice. Okay. Next up, Metro.
This is Metro.
This is
One of these
Metro.
days.
Oh, it finally was.
Finally.
Now we can't use Metro Exodus, but we
I
could use
know.
other Metro games.
Oh, there's other Metros that I don't even know which one's a which because these names.
True.
Oh, finally. That was satisfying.
Yes, nice. Okay.
This is
Not Metro.
Mario. Yeah,
Yep.
this is WarioWare. That's the next one.
There you go. Yeah. I wonder if this is Mario. Is not a bad guess. I was thinking Yoshi's, but maybe a Mario. I don't know which one.
Yoshi's
maybe like
World or something.
Yoshi's Island.
Oh, there you go. Yoshi's Island. Let's do
I don't think it is Yoshi's Island though. Maybe it's like a Mario and Luigi.
like a 3DS one, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No. Okay.
Not
This
rated.
looks way different than this.
I know.
This looks like
This
cell shaded
is-
versus this.
It's like freaking Doom.
Not rated. Yeah.
What the heck? Jeez. What even is that?
I don't know. Is this like a barn with a
This is Barnyard.
We already had that.
I know.
Why do I feel like this is a horror game, but this looks like I don't know.
This is WarioWare.
So what is that?
No,
like
not rated.
Wonderful 100 or something? I don't even know what I'm looking for. The Wonderful 101. That's what this is.
There you go. Yes, it is.
No. Original platform PC. Got a camera. Looking at.
Looking at what?
Don't know. This is SCP Containment Breach.
The heck is that?
Survival horror ? I feel like we've had an SCP and it didn't count as. I'm going to try both SCPs because that.
Okay.
No, 2024.
2024.
I feel like I might have heard of this, but I don't know what the name of it was. It's like a Phasmophobia type game, I think. It's not though. Skog Zorro Wilnil Philip the Pet Hen. He's getting eaten by a slug man. This is
Skog something.
Skog.
I've never heard of this.
No. This is Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Haunting starring Poltergeist. It's content warning. I have not heard of this. Interesting.
I have not either. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, there's not much to go off of here.
Oh man.
This is a Tiger Woods golf game from way back in the day.
That's not a bad guess.
What's the earliest one? 2001? 99.
Yes.
Ooh, it's not. Oh, is this the Oregon Trail? I thought we had the Oregon Trail, though. Maybe it's a different version.
Is there more than one version?
Oregon. Oh, I don't know. Let's see it. See if this is it, though. Oh, it's not. DOS. Is this like... Did they have a version of that virus game? What was it? Pandemic or something?
Oh.
No.
Or... No, I know which one you're thinking of.
Outbreak? What is that called?
I know which one you're talking about, too. God, I don't remember.
Yeah, what was that called?
I can see the logo.
Oh,
Can't remember.
was it Plague?
That sounds familiar.
Plague Inc. But I don't think it would be Evolved, and I don't think it was on DOS. But let's see. Business simulation game. Like a Sid Meier's game.
Sid Meier's 1.
Railroads. Maybe it's Sid Meier's Railroads.
Hey, do it.
1990.
Man,
business
tough ones today.
Simulator. Simulator. Yeah, this is a tough one. What did I say? Business simulation game. Business Wars. MPS Labs.
This looks like a train. Or maybe that's just what they're focusing on. But
yeah. A-Train City Simulator.
Maybe. Yeah, screw it.
It's funny that I guessed A-Train HX earlier. Now we have a train game. Railroad Tycoon.
I did not even know there was a Railroad Tycoon.
I did not either. Interesting. Dang, this is a tough set of games.
This has been. Jeez.
Okay.
Except for Metro.
Yeah. Okay, this is something we know. I recognize this.
What? This is Mario 3D Land.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking Mario. 3D Land or 3D World?
Or World. Oh, I guess it could be either or.
Yeah, I'm fine throwing out Land. Ooh, it's not Mario. This definitely looks familiar, though.
It does. Is that a chest?
That is a chest.
Treasure chest? Go back to that first one. Huh.
Okay, so I'm thinking like, I was also thinking maybe Rayman, but now I don't think so. What is this? Could this be a Kirby game, maybe?
Maybe it's that new Kirby game that came out. Kirby. What's it called?
We had
Forgotten
the
Land, maybe?
One. We had.
Oh, we already had that one?
I think so. Let's just. Let's do. I mean, I guess we could do Epic Yarn. No. Let's just see if it's a Kirby game and see what the next one is. Oh, it is a Kirby game on the Switch.
Oh, Kirby. The other one that was on Switch was. What's the other one?
Yeah, is Battle Royale or Star? It's one of the ones you play with your friends. Like
I think maybe it's Star Allies.
Okay.
I think.
Let's try it. Yes, good.
Hey.
Woo. Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Glad we got Kirby here.
Yeah, that looked way too familiar to not know.
All right. This is
That's I don't know. Ace Attorney. It looks like
I was kind of thinking Professor Layton, which is very similar.
Oh.
I'm fine throwing out Ace Attorney, though. That's funny that we both had. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Ooh. I don't think this is Professor Layton anymore. We got an 86%.
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay. Man,
I don't know. Maybe
screenshots seem.
I don't really know what Professor Layton is like. Let's just throw that out and see what the next one is. Oh, it's a PS3 tank game.
Tank something. Tank Wars.
Tank. Thomas the Tank Engine.
Squishy Tank.
World War II tank battles. No, this doesn't look like a. Sure.
That one's it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a tactical RPG.
Oh man.
For the PS3.
Man, dude, we're getting some tough ones today.
Yeah. This is not XCOM, but I don't know what it is. 2008. Symbol there. Interesting art style.
Yeah. I definitely don't think this is one we've played.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Strategy.
have no clue.
This is East Strategy. Sure.
Sure.
Sega. Welkin.
Definitely don't know it, that's for sure. So I doubt you know it too.
Valiant Hearts, The Great War. Oh, Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, I actually have heard of this.
Yeah, I've never played it though. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. We maybe could have gotten that eventually, but okay. Hopefully we can get these last two. Please, we need some wins.
This is WarioWare. On the 3DS.
Sure, we could throw out WarioWare. One word. WarioWare Gold. Oh, this does look like it might be on the 3DS, honestly. Shoot.
Maybe, I don't know, Mario and Luigi again.
Maybe I'm gonna do touch and see what we see. Because I feel like Bomberman Land Touch. Yoshi Touch and Go.
Touch Master. What are these names?
We can throw out a Mario and Luigi. It is the DS. I don't recognize whatever is going on here.
Yeah. Is this like a Men in Black 3DS game?
I have no idea if there even is a Men in Black.
Men in Black the game.
Sure. That doesn't help.
Rhythm.
Rhythm Heaven Fever. 2006. Shoot.
Yeah, what pops up when you type in rhythm?
Rhythm Heaven. No, we did Rhythm Heaven. What about Dance?
Jeez, dude. Dance Revolution on the DS. The hip hop dance experience.
Sure. Developer INIS.
Dude, I have no freaking clue what this is. No clue whatsoever.
Look like the Blues Brothers. This is the Blues Brothers jukebox adventure. Elite Beat Agents. I've never heard of these games, dude. What the heck?
I have not either. Wow. Wow.
Okay, well, we have one more. Let's hope we get it. Oh, jeez. What is this?
This is Zelda. Maybe Oracle of Seasons.
Sure. Too old for Metacritic. Oh man.
It's a point and click game, apparently.
Oh, I don't know why, but that looks like a heart. So this is Heart Beaten.
Yes.
Shoot, a DOS point and click. What is this?
Dude, this is... What is that, a desert?
Crazy Frog Racer. Looks like a frog.
Yeah.
You successfully completed your mission. RTS.
It's like... Are they like on Mars or something? I don't know, this is like Mars.
I
don't know.
Deliver Us Mars. 1992. The Emperor has proposed a challenge to each of the houses. Is this Dune RTS? Dune 2. No way!
Oh! Dang.
What?
Dang.
I cannot believe I got that.
Wow.
There was a Dune RTS. What the heck? That's crazy. Wow. The Emperor and the House got me to Dune.
Dang, dude.
Okay, well, that's a good place to end.
Yeah. We're also not going to end it better than that.
Also, just to show that we do know video games, we're going to do a video game grid to ease our ego. Okay.
Man. Yeah, that was a rough one.
Okay. This is...
I don't know, man.
Splatoon.
I just don't know. Which one?
Yay, the first one. We're going to cook through these. This is... Oh, yes, great
I
game.
don't know this one either. This is...
Final Fantasy VII.
Jak and Daxter.
What game is this?
This is... Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, I love this game.
This is
Yeah, what's your guess on this one?
Yeah. I got nothing.
This is
I got nothing.
This is Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, this is Disney's Dreamland.
This was my COVID game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Ooh, do you know this one?
This is Magica. I actually don't know this one.
I think this is League. I think this is what League of Legends used to look like. Yeah.
I never played League of Legends, believe it or not.
Ooh, what's this one?
Oh, I don't know.
I actually need you on this because it's Resident Evil something. I don't know which one. 2005.
This one. This is Resident Evil. Let me see. 2005. This would be. I actually don't know either. I think this is Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Or not 4, 3.
Resident Evil 3.
I think.
Nemesis?
God, 2005. I'm second guessing myself too.
Let's do it. No. I think that's the first time we lost any health.
I know. 2005. I'm actually. That looks like. Hold on. Let me think here. I think that's. I'm second guessing myself. I think that's Resident Evil 4. I'm second guessing myself. I recognize the health meter. I'm just second guessing myself.
Yes, you got it.
I was gonna say that.
I heard you switch it to 3.
Myself.
Okay.
Oh,
what game is this, Alex?
This is Super Smash Brothers.
This is Halo. That's Master Chief. This is Super Smash Brothers. Earthbound. Okay, we know video games. We struggled with our other game. We got this one.
We know the basics.
Yeah, these are so easy. Okay.
Oh man,
I have to see how many did we get wrong? This is our worst one for sure. So we got this one wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 out of 10. Oh,
5 out of.
or no, it's 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Yeah. 5 out of 5. Perfect.
Dang, that was a hard one.
That was tough. That one was hard. Good. It's fine. We like a challenge.
Yeah. Learned about some new games like this one, Railroad Tycoon, which I am not going to go back and play. It looks way too old.
I did not know there's a. Yeah, I did not know there's a Railroad Tycoon and
That's
a Dune
crazy.
2 game.
Yeah, I can't believe we got the Dune 2 game. That's crazy. Okay. This one was ridiculous. All right, so let's see. Got like 10 minutes left. Do you want to talk about Snow White, or do you want me to try and see it and we can talk about it next week?
It's up to you. If you think you'll see it, we could talk about it next week.
I might be able to get Tiffany to go see it, so maybe I'll use this as an opportunity. To force her to go to the
we can hold off a week.
Okay. I'm like 1 episode behind on White Lotus. So, it might be 2 now. So I'm almost caught up on that.
Yeah.
Still been playing Last of Us Part 2. Great game.
Okay.
I'm interested to see where the story goes.
Yeah.
What about you? Oh yeah, how's your Pokemon experience going?
It was good. I beat it, Pokemon Violet. I played the crap out of it, man.
Nice.
I was addicting.
Yeah.
I was addicted. It wasn't too, when you showed me that map to follow, that was a good, that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of guide which direction to go.
The way they did the open world is weird. Like, it's not really that open. It is, but
it forces you kind of to go a certain way.
Yeah, there's definitely a path you should take. Like, oh, this is the level. I don't even remember how I found the one I sent you. Yeah, it wasn't this one, but basically it tells you like go here, then here, because this is like the intended path level wise. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because if you like go up here, you're gonna get one shot.
Oh, you would get. Yeah, I'd be like, what the heck? So yes, it was open world, but honestly, it kind of wasn't in a sense of it forced you to go certain ways.
Yeah.
It's not like an open world where you can try to weasel your way through a higher level. There's no way you could in those spots with like low level Pokemon
without like totally cheesing it by knowing what's before. And
yeah.
But if you follow this, it's a decent game. Yeah,
it was fun, and the story was interesting enough for me. I had fun. Like, I told you my kids were watching and play it, and we'd name all my. I have some funny Pokemon names.
Did they have any favorites?
One of them.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Avia liked Tinka Tunk or whatever, and I liked
Tinkaton.
I liked. Yeah, we named her Cheek.
Nice.
Luke wanted to call her Cheek. And then Lucas liked the big rock guy, Giganta, whatever. What's his name?
The fire one or the
maybe
stone journer or
the rock one, stone one.
Is it this guy?
No. It almost looked like a pixelated rock guy.
Carcoal? Or
no. God, what was his name? I'll tell you right now. I think I still have. I wrote it down. I don't have it with me. I don't remember his name.
Shoot. Why can't I think of it? It's not Golem.
He was like
yeah, this guy. I like him. Yeah.
Yes.
Garganackle. Yep. I used
Garganackle.
him.
So
he was in my team. Yep.
Yeah, I used him a lot. I used him. I used my starter Pokemon. Yep. I really liked Tinka Tunk or whatever her name is.
Tinkaton is good.
She was probably my number, or he or whatever. I don't know what's a boy or girl Pokemon. Can any Pokemon be boy or girl?
Some are genderless. Some are always a boy and always a girl, but most of them can be either a boy or a girl.
Okay. Either or. She was probably my number 2. I probably used her. I used her a lot.
Yeah, her
and then
hammer move is really good, and her typing's good.
Yeah, she was really good. And then I used what's the electric bird? It's like a water or ice bird. Electric. Yes.
Yeah.
Kilowattrol.
Yeah, Zapdos Light.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I used. What was the name?
If you give me the type, I might be able to, or what it looked like.
I think it looked like you can. The easiest spot to find it was up in the snow. Like it was like a cave up in the snow area. What was his name?
Baxcalibur or
no?
Was it the whale? Ice whale guy?
No, it wasn't like a snow guy. Oh, what was it? Let me look it up. I used him, but I didn't get him till later in the game.
Yeah.
I think it. Claude Sire was one of the one I used too.
Okay. Yep.
He was like the whale.
Yep. This guy,
dude, and then
good type. Ground type's always nice.
Oh yeah, Baxcalibur. You're right. I think you said Baxcalibur.
Yeah, Baxcalibur's good.
Yep, Baxcalibur. Yep. Those were kind of the 6 I rolled with most of the game.
Yeah, that's funny. I used Baxcalibur. I used Tinkaton. I used Garganackle. I used your starter, the Fire Ghost. Skeledirge.
Yeah, similar.
Yeah, I forget what my last 2 were.
I did use the one that looked like a dog for a while. You look like a
Fido, or Mabostiff.
Oh, yeah, Mabostiff. I used him for a while.
Yeah,
I called him Doug, cool. Or Avia did.
I really like the other dog, the ghost dog, Houndstone. I think I used him a little bit.
Yeah, Houndstone. Yeah, it's cool design.
I know. I used Annihilate. Annihilate is awesome. Primape's Evolution.
Oh, interesting. I did not use Annihilate.
Yeah. If you to get him, you have to use Rage Fist 5 times, and then I think he technically dies and becomes a ghost type because he gets so mad he dies and then becomes a ghost type.
That's pretty cool though.
He's really good.
Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it though. So I will say I started Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh yeah, how's that?
And after playing that, my God, dude, the Pokemon games look awful.
Yeah, this looks crazy good.
Awful. Like I'm playing this game and this looks freaking amazing. I'm like, why can't I get a Pokemon game to look like this?
Seriously, it's on the same system. And this is a remake.
It's on the same system. And this is a remake. And fun fact, I just learned this after this game came out. The people who made Xenoblade Chronicles X, Nintendo liked them so much, they used them to help design Breath of the Wild. We got Breath of the Wild because of this game.
Awesome.
They used the designers of this game to help to build the world of Breath of the Wild. That's how good this open world is.
Wow.
But like, look how good that looks compared to freaking Pokemon Violet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing that game and I'm amazed. I'm like, this is the same system.
Yeah, like just look at the difference in the grass. Like that grass versus versus this. That's crazy.
Yes, dude. It looks so
giant
good.
Monsters, and we get yeah.
Like so good.
Like
and
Pokemon Violet's a fun game, but it looks bad.
Yeah, like I had a blast. Like seriously, I was addicted to Pokemon Violet. Like, and playing, like my kids watching and stuff. It was freaking addicting. And following that path and kind of doing all all of the 3 different storylines. Like, it was fun. Like, I really, really did enjoy it. So people bag on that game, but I actually did enjoy it. But yeah, after playing this, oh my god, the graphics of freaking my lord, they need to improve on that.
Definitely.
God, seeing a Pokemon game like this would be, it's fun. So I've only played a few hours of it. Okay. So obviously not much, in a game like this.
Yeah.
But it's, as of right now, it feels like Xenoblade, but I heard it does. This is more about exploration than story, like the world. Hence why I guess they use them to help with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but, for sure.
What I love about this game so far is the movement is very fluid. You could definitely tell it's like an exploration type of game.
Cool. Nice.
And I don't think you get the mech until like 15 or 20 hours into the game, which is crazy.
Dang. Wow.
So it kind of forces you to explore the world on foot first.
Yeah.
But just little things like there's not like fall damage. Like you could kind of, you can swim everywhere. Like it's very fluid with its movement. And I do like how you have a gun, so you can do like distant fighting and also close fighting. So the as far as the combat right now, it feels like like Xenoblade, but I can't comment on like once I get the mech and stuff because I haven't gotten that.
Yeah.
But cool. It's the biggest thing I saw is it really is a beautiful game. Like it
looks really good.
Like when I'm playing it, I'm in awe. Like this is on the Switch. Like I'm like, oh my god, it looks amazing. And the world is really interesting. Like kind of reminds me of like Avatar. Like you're kind of exploring things. You're like, whoa, like this lights up, or this is interesting.
Oh, cool.
So it's been fun, and I barely scratched the surface. So
yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'll probably try and get it when it's on sale sometime because I do want to try it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish we could share games on the Switch, but Nintendo.
Yep.
But anyways, Pokemon Violet, beat it. It was good. I'm eventually gonna get Pokemon Arceus.
Yes.
That's how you say it.
Yep.
But I'll get that probably like this summer or something, like when it's closer to the new Pokemon Legends game.
Yeah, that'll be good to play right before ZA comes out.
Yeah. But yeah, so that beat that, had fun, and then playing this, and I'm sure I'll be playing that for a while. So
yeah, sure, for sure. Those games are long.
Yeah. But as far as games, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Shows, I finished that show Paradise I was telling you about. Great freaking show.
Yeah.
Great show.
That's one on my list now.
Yeah, you'll like it. And then obviously I'm watching White Lotus as well.
Yeah.
We'll review that when it's done.
Yep, sounds good.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then just Daredevil is left that we're talking about. So
yep. Yeah, 2 of our shows finished.
Yep, so we got Daredevil, and I guess The Last of Us starts up next month.
Right, I need to watch the first season now. Now that these are done, I'm gonna watch that and finish up White Lotus when it's done. So
yes, you do got to watch the first season. I'll be curious to your thoughts. Yeah, I know you'll like it, but I'm excited for you to watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it, especially since I just beat the first one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fresh in your mind, so you might even notice some things more than me since it's like fresh.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
But yeah, because the first Last of Us game is perfection.
Yeah,
story,
it's so
everything.
good.
Yeah, so they adapted it pretty well.
Nice, yeah.
But, I think that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on episode 56 of the VGA Podcast, and we will talk to you again next week.